Today, we're all going to be elected President of the United States. And we're not going to go over everything that's been going on since January 20th or Liberation Day. We're not going to go over that. Everyone knows the arguments. People are arguing about everything. We're going to solve the rare earth in 3 months. Some people say it's going to be 20 years. Um, do we give them chips? Do we not give them chips? All this stuff. Okay. And the question is we are going to negotiate. They are, in my opinion, the administration is desperately trying to set up a meeting. And the reason being is because of rare earth minerals. And we're seeing this play out with Nexperia. Right now, they do about 100 billion chips a year. And the European car industry says, hey, we're going to shut down because China won't give them the chips. So the rare earth minerals can shut us down. All this stuff is going on. So the question is we're going into negotiation. We know there's X amount of points that both sides have. We've seen in the press. They want this, and so forth and so on. So the question today I'm going to ask you, as President of the United States, what will you agree to in these negotiations, if anything at all? So look, I am not saying this is the list. I'm not saying that the government's even going to ask for these things. I'm not saying that the Chinese are asking for these things. It, these are the things I have seen in the press. If you have seen other things, please put them into the comments. And as we get closer to when they're going to meet, we'll discuss these things. Okay. So the first thing is let's go through them. Are we going to sell them chips? So at first we weren't going to sell them H20s. Then we said we will sell you H20s, and then China says we won't allow our Chinese companies to buy H20. So if they go into these negotiations, given the rare earth mineral, I believe, is in my opinion. So I'll tell you my opinion. We go along. I believe China's going to ask for the Blackwell chips, and I'm going to say I think that we're probably going to give them to them. I know that's crazy. I'm just saying, just my opinion. That's all. Then ASML. Will we give them a machine? Well, here's the deal, people. If they ask for the ASML and we say no, and then they say we're going to ban any rare earth minerals to ASML, we can't make any machines. So, do we give a machine or do we not? Now, on the tariffs, now when I say yes or no here, I know we've laid on layer after layer from the fentanyl and all this other stuff. So here's how I'm going to couch this question. Will the tariffs on China be lower than our allies that we just tariffed? Okay? I know it sounds crazy, but that literally is the question. And in my opinion, I believe they will be equal to or lower than all our allies. The fentanyl tariffs, the Chinese have said they want this off. I think they look at this as, hey, we're a government, we're a responsible government, we're not doing the fentanyl. And they make an ingredient in fentanyl. And so they want this gone. And, I don't know how this is going to happen, but, what do you think? Now, will they buy soybeans and corn from us? But this is a little this is not easy to talk about either, because I just read last week they said when Trump came out, remember, and he says we want them to buy our soybeans. I won't buy our soybeans. And the guy said, why should we make an agreement with you when you change your mind on a dime and then you won't give us the soybean? So kind of like a 2 point question: will we sell them soybeans and corn, and will we guarantee in a treaty that will do it for 5 years or 10 years, whatever it may be? Figure it out yourself. I think 5 years, okay? Then rare earth minerals and batteries. My personal opinion is we're 15 to 20 years and trillions of dollars. Notice the $3 billion with Australia. So in my opinion, all these announcements they're making on rare earth minerals and batteries and everything, it's only one thing. It's smoke. because we actually don't have the capabilities. And we're going to have to figure out how we can get unfettered. So to me, that's where they get the Blackwell and the ASML machines. Okay. They have said many times they want to build their factories in the United States. And of course, we say no. We're trying to get it. We don't want to own farmland, water. We don't want to know anything. So what are we going to do? Yes or no? What do you think? I think that's probably going to be a no. The engines, we've said no to these parts for their civilian aircraft. So, what do you think we're going to do there? Then there's BIS 50%. Okay, this is from Lutnick, trying to stop trans. They go to another country and ship them to us, transshipment they call it. I think they're going to study Nexperia as a study of absolute stupidity. Okay, that's how it's going to be studied. I expect fairly shortly that this whole Nexperia thing will be changed, but it's the BIS 50% rule. They're going to hit us hard on that. I don't know how that's going to come out. That's 20,000 Chinese companies. Let's see how that goes. And the ship port fees, okay, which we put on every China ship coming to American shores, and they just put it on the U.S., South Korea, and Japan ships going to China. I think both sides this goes away. Now, I know people are looking at this saying, "Oh, we're going to give them Blackwell, we're going to give them a machine, and we're going to get some kind of unfettered REM and batteries." But that's not what I want. If I'm the president of the United States, I'm willing to give everything up, everything on this sheet here, if I get access to the Chinese REM scientists, their machines and their factories, and how they build their factories. Okay. And I want them for 5 years. All right. That's what I would want. I'm willing to trade everything for that. All right. Because I think that puts us over 95% that we can get off rare earth minerals in 10 years. But I don't know. What do you think? And then time frame. I mean, we need time for REM. Okay. We just need time. And so whether it's 5, 10, or 15 years, I think China's going to want to limit it. And I think we're going to want, 10 years. But I think we're going to come in on this agreement that's going to come about, this grand bargain, as Trump says. I think that will come in around 5 years. Okay. So all these proclamations in the press and everyone going crazy, and they're trying to bring down the world economy and all this other stuff. Frankly, this is just posturing in the public for the people. Okay. This is for us. It's not for them. They're talking. They're really talking. Okay. And so they're going to come to some kind of an agreement. We kind of know what they're looking at. All right. We kind of get it. And look, I didn't even put Taiwan in there. I have some friends from Taiwan and some clients from Taiwan. They're tremendous people, but we can't defend them as it is today. I think that we'll make some kind of statement saying that we support China's staged reunification with Taiwan. That's what I think. By the way, there's two parties in Taiwan. One of the parties, for the first time in history, elected a extremely pro-China leader of the party. So there's a lot going on there. I didn't even put it in there because I don't even think it's important anymore. That's what I think. So here we are. You're president of the United States. You got the three idiots working for you, Navarro, Lutnick, and Bessent. What do you do? How do you go in and negotiate with this guy? In our government, we have huge China hawks, just totally anti-China. I don't see that from Trump. When they come to him and say, this is what's going to happen to us, he's like, Xi's a great guy. We're going to come to an agreement. What do you think? Tell me in the comments, and we'll revisit this once we get a bunch of comments in. So, thank you for listening. Like and follow.